Rev up your engines! Okay, you want to know about a new Ford truck? Here's a new one. It's an F-150. It's an EcoBoost with the 6-cylinder. And if you've seen me complain about some of these new Ford F-150s loaded are 81,000 bucks, the guy got this for 46,000. So that's quite a bit less. Got the fancy wheels, and it is a 4x4. Now, it does have the EcoBoost 6-cylinder engine. If you're looking for an F-150, what engine do you want and what are you going to use it for? In this case, he's using it to commute with. His old truck was just getting so old up north they all rot away, but he kept it anyways. All right? He wanted something that he felt safe in, that rode nice, that got decent gas mileage, and this can get the mid-20s on the highway because it's got the 6-cylinder EcoBoost. But realize one thing, as we look under the hood, it's a 6-cylinder EcoBoost engine. As you can see, since a lot of these had V8s, there's a lot of working room. So one, something goes wrong as time goes on. It's not hard to access things. And two, what do you want your truck for? Now, I had a guy bring me pretty much the same exact truck, only it was a lot older, with the EcoBoost engine. He was in Massachusetts. He had 165,000 miles. The engine was still running strong because he changed the oil and filter every 5,000 miles and took care of it. He didn't have any problems with the engine or the transmission. If you want to tow and pull heavy loads, you're foolhardy to get the 6. You'd want a V8 engine then, but he's not doing that. So why pay for something that you're not going to use? Like the guy that I had in Tennessee that ended up buying a used Dodge because he said the new F-150 he wanted loaded with a V8 and everything was 81 grand. Not only are you paying up front, but you're paying on the back end too because the gas mileage of the V8s is a lot worse than these are. And you'll just keep paying and paying no matter what. We all know the price of gas as time goes on is just going to keep going higher, especially with government regulations and stuff. It's only going to get higher and higher. So a truck like this can make a lot of sense if you're using it as a commuting truck and to carry stuff around. You can tow stuff with it if you want. It's just not made for heavy duty towing because you get one of these V6 EcoBoost and you tow a heavy load. Your gas mileage won't be in the mid-20s. It'll be more in the low teens or maybe 7 or 8 miles a gallon if you're pulling a real heavy load. Understand that. That's why if you're going to tow a whole bunch, you got to have at least a V8 gasoline engine. And if you're real serious, you really have to go diesel because they'll get twice the gas mileage that a gas engine will get if they're pulling super heavy loads. Now, since he's using it for commuting, one thing he likes is this has a nice ride. Because truthfully, Ford has improved the ride on these things. Years ago, they went to a much better suspension system. I used to get trucks from Ford all the time to road test till they got mad at me because I didn't say marvelous things all the time. And my wife refused to ride in the F-150s. She said they're too high, they ride like crap, they're bouncing all over the place because they just had a solid rear end and a real basic suspension ride. Their suspension has really improved, that these things have a nice ride, and some of that has to do with the construction. There's a lot of aluminum on these now. Aluminum weighs less, the better the ride, and of course a little bit better gas mileage too. You get a lot less weight that you're carrying around. It's not like you got a friend who weighs too much, you say, get out of my truck, you're ruining my gas mileage, right? You're not going to take the fenders off while you're driving down the road, so that adds to it too. Plus, if you know one thing about Fords, historically Fords have been rust buckets. When I was a kid, we had a 53 Ford. First you could skate in the back seat from the water leaking in, and then you could watch the road later when it rotted away. You go down the road, you could see the road under you. The engine still ran fine though, and so did the transmission because of the 3-speed standard, 3 on the tree. But aluminum doesn't rust. So the later model Fords have so much less rust problems than the early ones did because aluminum doesn't rust. Now as we look inside, since it's new, hey, I agree with his choice of seats. Not only are fabric seats more comfortable in the winter and the summer, they're not freezing cold in the winter and they're not boiling hot sticking to your legs when you're wearing shorts in the summer, but they can last forever if you take care of them. Just clean them every once in a while. And of course, the modern faux leather, they can give it whatever name they want. That stuff's absolute garbage. After the first few years, basically some kind of plastic amalgam, starts cracking. As far as I'm concerned, these fabric ones, they're a lot more comfortable, they last a lot longer, And hey, you don't have to deal with any maintenance like you do with leather seats. Now, here's another thing I like about this truck. It's got a real key. Yeah, it's a new truck, but it doesn't have push button. It has an actual key. Hey, I like that. And it's kind of an interesting secret that the owner just found out. We open up the suicide doors. Okay, check it out. They open the whole way, so you can get easy egress. Somebody's got mobility problems, hey, they got no problem getting in and out whatsoever. You don't have to open it the whole way, but the fact that it does, hey, it's an added bonus. Heard that door? It's solid. It's a solid truck. It's got a solid actual frame. I mean, listen to that. Solid door. All right, now we'll look inside. Nice black and silver trim. Lots of leg room in the back. Very comfy 3 seats there. We'll start her up with the actual key. Some nice logos going on here. See, it's got all the bells and whistles on it. It does have an electric parking brake, but they all have gone that way. Every single one of them. Simple heating and air conditioning. You know, sure, it's not dual control, but who cares? It's a pickup truck. You're all sitting in the same space anyways. Less things to go wrong. That's one reason he bought this truck. He says it doesn't have all the crap that some of the other ones have. As a conservative driver, you see it's rated at 23 on the highway. He can get 24 on the highway. The MSRP was $48,845. He paid $46,857. Of course, it's got a lot of power outlets, phone charging outlets, gigantic center armrest. All kinds of space, dual compartments. We'll put it in reverse, see what the backup camera looks like. Nice backup camera. It's a little fuzzy because it's foggy today and rainy, but it works perfectly fine. We even have a special camera that shows right down below you in case there's any small children or kittens sitting there. You push it, then when you want to go back, it goes back to the normal. Now, if you look around, he doesn't have it yet, but he's gonna get it. They make a little safe that fits inside here, so you can put your firearms in and be legal because they're locked inside. Okay, parking brake is on, but if you hit the grass, it automatically goes up. That's handy now. I like that. I hate fiddling with, do you push it up? Do you put it down for how long? Hit the gas, it turns itself off. That makes sense. So here we go up the hill, and I gotta say, these horrible Rhode Island roads, voted worst in the nation every year. This thing still rides pretty good. Considering it's the truck, they have the suspension set up much better on these newer ones than they used to have. Now there's people to the left. Here we go, waiting again. All right, here we go. We got some clearance now, and here we go. Give it some gas. Nice acceleration. It really kicks in. It's got 400 foot-pounds of torque, and you can feel it taking off. I mean, there's no lack of power in these things. They're fun to drive. Now, mind you, you're not going to be getting 24 miles a gallon driving away. I've been driving, but hey, it's a lot of fun when you want to. Got a real smooth idle, too, being a V6 engine. If you're not pulling and towing a bunch of weight, hey, it's certainly more than adequate. Now, if somebody brings me a 4-cylinder Silverado 1500, that's another story. That is just too freaking small. You notice Ford at least is using their brains, and you don't see them throwing the 4 cylinders in these yet. Who knows, maybe by the time you watch this video, they'll be trying 4 cylinders in these, but it would be a big mistake because they're perfectly fine with one of these V6 for normal driving. You wouldn't want to push it down to a turbo 4. He got it at a decent price, 46 grand. Has everything he wanted, and things that he didn't want, it doesn't have. He didn't want all that fancy crap on it. He wanted a truck that could last him a long time. With the aluminum and the ecoboost, hey, 24 miles a gallon on the highway, you can't complain for a truck. It'll do whatever he wants it to, but he's just like me, because that's what he did with his previous truck. He changes the oil all the time. Turbos will wear out from dirty oil. The engine with the extra pressure needs clean oil. So you buy one of these, you want to make sure you take care of it. But hey, 46 grand versus a customer in Tennessee, they wanted to sell him one at the dealer for 81 the same exact year, but it was fully loaded with a V8. Maybe you'd rethink things if you don't need a big V8 work truck. You saw this thing takes off. Hey, all those foot-pounds of torque, it's got plenty of takeoff power. You can tow stuff with it. It's not made for long distance towing of 10, 15,000 pounds. You'd have to go V8 at least with that. But for a knock-around truck for driving around, hey, he got what he wanted. He's very happy with the truck. So if you never want to miss another one of my new car repair videos, remember to ring that bell.